Friends, good morning. All right, so I just did a couple of minutes of coffee talk without anybody watching. I thought I hit the start stream button, but apparently I didn't. So anyway, apologies. We're going to do this all over again. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Sunday morning. It is August the 10th. Rise and shine. I'm WESH 2 first warning meteorologist Eric Burris, and this is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. I'm coming to you live from the airport. It is oil change day on the airplane. My partner in the airplane is going on like an epic trip, and we're about due, so we're just going to go ahead and do the oil change. So anyway, if the quality of my video isn't great, I apologize, but it doesn't even matter because I'm feeding the video into the basically, of course. Hold on a second. See this. All right. So we're having some fun stuff. What I was trying to say is it doesn't even matter if my video quality isn't great because I'm running Coffee Talk out of WESH. So even if my video quality isn't great, the graphics, the stuff that actually matters is great. At any rate, good morning to you. So apologies on that. Anyway, oil change day. That's why we're early. Tropics are definitely the big story. There are two areas that we are monitoring. Invest96 recurving, staying out to sea. That's fine. It's the area highlighted in red. That's Invest97. That's the area that we're actually watching. Take a look at that satellite. Not only does it look healthy this morning, but frankly, the models continue to show a very good environment for development. So we do think that Invest 97 will form, will probably become the season's first hurricane. The 2 a.m. update from the hurricanes are giving a 10% chance of formation over the next 2 days' time. We're not expecting this to be a quick one, but over the next 7 days' time, we are expecting it with a 70% likelihood there. So Invest 97 more than likely will become our next tropical system this year. Just to give you an idea, because I know everybody's like, well, if it comes to us, how long would it take for it to get here? So this graphic, I think, is such a great reference tool because it just kind of illustrates where systems are, how long it'll take for them to go to the United States. So this is time to the United States, normal time. It's in that lightest of tan. So you're still looking at like 2 weeks before it really has any threat to anywhere in the United States. I would also add there's no guarantee that Invest 97 were to head to the United States. It's generally moving this direction. But as far as where it actually ends up, it's too early to tell. Okay. By the way, I don't name systems before they're named. The next name on the list, though, is Aaron. So, should this be the next name on the list, it will be Aaron. Okay. All right. So, it's in an environment favorable for tropical development. There it is again. It's out near the Cabo Verde Islands. It's getting its sea legs. So, in terms of formation, that certainly is ideal situation. Now, looking at the computer forecast models, give it a second to load. You notice a very tight component over the next couple of days' time. And then from there, there's an indication, at least, of a bit of a recurvature. It's still too early to really tell what direction this is going to end up going. You know, a week and a half out, 2 weeks out, but we're at least getting an idea of what we're looking at here. Okay, visible satellite imagery. Let's take a look at that. All right, we're going to load it. It may take it a few seconds just because it's the first kind of run of the day. But there you go. Sun is rising. We're absolutely seeing that counterclockwise spin there. Absolutely seeing it. What's also kind of cool is if you look closely here, you can actually see the noon. Remember, this is all the way over near Africa, and you can actually see the reflection of the sun right at high noon on the ocean, which I always think is amazing. But anyway, just kind of looking at the satellite imagery. Is it a tropical depression yet? Certainly it's not. It's still trying to bubble. It's still trying to figure its stuff out. But it's developing, right? In looking at sea surface temperatures, Warmer than average waters do lay ahead, right? It's not super hot, but it's warmer than average. So the development chances are there, certainly, right? All right, now let's do this. Let's look at the Saharan air. Stand by. I'm doing this in the car on the cell phone internet, so you have to forgive if I'm a little bit slower. All right. So first off, it's developing in an environment kind of away from that Saharan air. There's Saharan air ahead, but as it continues working off toward the west, the theory is some of that may mix in, but not a ton. Lily's asking, so it's not coming to Florida, right? It's too early to tell. I'm always one of those people that's like, all right, know what you know what you don't know. We know that this should try to get going and should become a hurricane, should become the season's first hurricane. But outside of that, we don't know what it's going to do. So, of course, that means it's not a bad idea for us to look at the raw computer models. And let's look at that together, right? All right, so let me get this set up here and we'll pop this up. I see a couple of people saying like my audio sounds like I'm underwater. I'm coming to you via cell phone internet. So when you figure I'm at the airport, it's not like there's Wi-Fi here. So any signal is better than no signal is kind of the way I'm looking at it. It's not the greatest signal, but it is what it is. All right, so let's just roll through time. This is the American GFS model, okay? This is the 6C, and I'll bring it full screen for you just so you can kind of get the best look. And again, if my audio is not the best, at the end of the day, I don't really care. It's not about me, about the data. All right, so Central Atlantic, here it is. This is Tuesday at 8 a.m. when we're doing coffee talk, getting a little better organized. There we go. Now we're forming low. That's going to be by about Thursday or so. Now we're starting to try and get a little better organized. Approaching the Lesser Antilles, staying north of the Caribbean islands, according to the GFS. Becoming a hurricane. I mean, in terms of intensity here, the pressure, you're looking at 956 millibars. It's trying to become a big bad hurricane here. All right, where does it go? Look at that. It recurves. Why? Because on the GFS model, it strengthens earlier. And by doing that, it feeds into the Coriolis force. Okay, you don't have the ridge over troubled waters. You don't have the massive Bermuda high. So that allows it to recurve. I love this scenario. This is ideal scenario, right? I mean, maybe not for Bermuda because this does bring it awful close to Bermuda. Awful close to Bermuda. That's Tuesday, August 19th. That's late Monday the 18th into Tuesday the 19th, and that's bringing it awful close to Bermuda. So I spoke too soon. It's not an ideal situation because it would put a hurricane around Bermuda around the 18th, 19th. Not ideal. All right. So there's that. That's the current GFS solution. Let's go back one model run. Same kind of idea here. With an area of low pressure kind of developing around Florida, not anything too strong or organized, but it's there. Kelly says you're spitting knowledge about knowing things at 7 a.m. and I haven't even had coffee yet. Yeah, I haven't either. It's oil change time, but I get to go see Alex Alisi, so it's a good day. I'm doing coffee talk, and then I have to be at the other side of the airport with the airplane at 8 a.m. So that's why we're doing coffee talk a little early. I'm going to be over at the maintenance hangar at 8 a.m. All right, so that's one model run back of the GFS. Let's go back two model runs. It's closer to the United States, but it's still showing a recurve. So it's trended with a recurve earlier and further out. That's the current GFS, okay? Let's go back to the full basin view. Let's look at the European. And I always invite you to share this with friends. But I'm not here for the clicks. So share it or not. When you hear people talking about scary stuff, like I heard there's a hurricane coming, share with them some knowledge. My whole goal here is to help you understand tropics and help you feel more comfortable and to share that comfort with your friends and family. So if you know, if there's some knowledge that can be spit, then spit the knowledge. All right. So because we're early, the 6Z is of the European is only out 30 hours. So that's as far out as it goes. So we'll have to go back to the 00Z, which we do anyway. All right. So there's the European. Definitely developing it in the central Atlantic. We'll come into a bit of a closer shot here. It develops. Okay, so my initial notification here from this is that the European develops this slower than the GFS, but it does develop it, and look at that. That's awful close to Bermuda. Okay, do you remember some of the people that were talking about the first hurricane of the season, growing threat of the first hurricane in the United States? Slow it down, son. Computer models are constantly changing, right? And this is a good case. I will say I do love that there's consistency, that they're both recurving away from the United States at the moment. Don't hold our breaths that it happened. This is going to come and go. But either way, if I was still, if I'm on the eastern side of the United States, I still need to watch it. If I was in Bermuda, I need to watch it, right? So too early to tell where it's going to go. So there's that. Let's go back to the basin view. I just want to make sure, yeah. And then beyond that, a couple other little things. Okie dokie, Chobi. Let's go to the Euro AI model. Of course, the Euro AI also just running. That's through our 150. And what? Whoa, what are you doing? Oh, okay. I forget that it runs it at a different interval. So interesting that the Euro AI develops it much slower, thus keeps it much lower. Right into Cuba. And then into the Gulf, and then into Texas. All right. That's clearly an outlier. All right. And then look at that. Like that image. There's 3 things. That goes into Texas. So at the moment, the Euro AI is an outlier. Let's go back one run and see what the Euro AI was painting. This the 18Z. It was like scraping East Coast. Let's go back 2 runs. Kind of more of a Carolina deal. All right, so the Euro AI is definitely an outlier. One thing I would like to do, and if you're new to Coffee Talk, this may be a new thing to you, but I want to look at ensembles. Ah, yes, the ensembles. This is the thing that this time of year really benefits us, okay? Really benefits us. The ensembles, think of it like this: the Euro, the GFS, all of these global models, what they do is they run one model run. Boom, there's the GFS. Boom, there's the European. Boom, there's the European AI. Once that's done, then they go back and they rerun themselves 30 or 50 submodels. We call those ensemble members, okay? And the advantage to doing that is that each member is a little different, and it gives us a chance to look inside. So in other words, all right, GFS, take the GFS for example. All right, I see a GFS, but just how confident are you? European, I see you, European, but if I were to ask you to do it 30 different ways, what would you do, right? That's what you get with the ensembles. So let's look at the ensembles. All right, we're going to start with what the heck did I click? GFS, perfect. This is the GFS ensemble. All right. So they're fairly tightly packed through about the 16th, next Saturday. Beyond that, notice those circles start spreading out. If you see a cluster of circles tightly packed, the confidence is higher. When they start spreading out, that's the different ensemble members like, oh, I don't really know what's going to happen there, right? So that's where confidence drops. All right, that's as far as the 6Z GFS goes because we're on Coffee Talk early, so it's still running. So let's go back and let's go to the 0Z GFS. All right, fairly tight model agreement here. Fairly tight for it being about 200 or so hours out. Actually, I got to be honest, you could see it kind of spreading there, but this is a pretty big shift from yesterday. The ensemble agreement yesterday was very low at this point. It was spreading from the Gulf through Florida out east. Now it seems like the ensembles are spread around the Gulf, or excuse me, around the Atlantic. It's just a matter of does it nudge on the left side or on the right side? But the ensemble member spread does seem to have tightened up a little bit with the 0Z run. Again, the 6Z is running right now, and it looks a little broader, 6Z versus 0. So the current 6Z does look a bit wider, so the confidence may be coming down just a little bit. But that's a good trend. I like to see that. That's definitely not a bad trend. Tanya says you have a little squeak. I'm coming at you from my car at the airport. The internet is not perfect. So whatever you're going to get is what you're going to get. When I'm reporting live in the field, so to speak, like this, it's not going to be the same as if I'm sitting in the studio with the audio being the high quality, with the Wi-Fi being the high quality. It is what it is. Sorry about that. This is all I got. It's all I got. All right. All right. So there's that. Let's see. Let's switch over to the European I know. Oh, crud. I hit the wrong button. European ensemble, multi-member, wise minimum. Okie dokie. This is 0Z. Rolling through time. There's the Hornets coming. So fairly tightly packed through, that is Sunday. That's next Sunday. And you see them spreading out. So if anybody says it's going to hit Florida, the answer is no. If anybody says it's not going to hit Florida, the answer is also no. We don't know yet, right? Like the ensemble spread, I think that this really is a good example, right? Again, that's 50 different versions of the European, anywhere from Florida and the Gulf all the way out east. So it's still too early, and I think that that's just very important to know, right? It's just still too early to know where this could go. So keep that in mind. Tanya, no, it's your voice, not the internet. Nice try. Ha, that's funny, actually. I like that. That's funny. So anyway, I think that it's important, and this is one of those things. It's a great way to visualize and make sure we know. Like it's just too early to know what's happening here. Kelly says lots of pretty colors before. I know. I need the coffee. I need the coffee. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Questions about the tropics before we bring it home and look at our stuff here locally. Questions, comments, concerns. I got you. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about a thing. I got you. I got you covered. Friends. Anything? I want to make sure you're. Oh, the tower cam shot I just dialed up for y'all. New Smyrna, you're looking so pretty. It's still too early, I know, right? Hey, good morning, Lisa Ann. Good morning. Darren's asking how accurate is the Euro AI. It did very well last year. It's still new, so it has to learn, right? All right, New Smyrna Beach, beautiful shot out there this morning, looking great. Our live first warning Doppler radar got struck by lightning again, was down. Folks had to go replace another acromag. That seems like our failure point at the moment. So we're going to have to figure out if we can do something to fix that. Temperatures out the door, not bad. Mid 70s. It's not 84 in DeLand. That's just a dead sensor. All right. Forecast today, bringing up the storms. Through the early afternoon, we're good. 10, 20, 30% coverage of showers, maybe a few thunder showers. Then we get up to a 70% coverage of storms late this afternoon, 5 p.m. So yeah, we've got the fun stuff. Justin says this is NBC on West 2. That's correct. Right, so here's our high temperatures today: 90, 91, 92, depending on where you are. Not a bad day. Beaches, upper 80s, lower 90s, right? Let's look at Futurecast. I'm looking at this for you as much as for me as well. because after the oil change, partner and I are going to go fly for a little bit. All right, 10, 11, 12 o'clock looking good. Perfect. So lunch flight looking good. 1, 2 o'clock, starting to see those showers and thunder showers popping up. 3, 4 o'clock, storms around. 5 o'clock, everything's eventually wanting to work out to the west. 7, 8 o'clock, continuing on through. Then the sunshine will come out tomorrow. So yeah, we're looking good. Speaking of sunshine, speaking of tomorrow, my friends, back to school. Back to school. What? Yeah, I will be with you. I'm excited to be with you on WESH 2 News Sunrise. Tomorrow morning, I'll be with you, helping you get back to school. Here's that forecast, friends. Morning bus stop, warm but big surprise, warm and muggy. Recess will feel hot, nearly 100 degrees, and then we'll start to see a couple of afternoon storms. I did kindergarten orientation for my youngest. He's going into kindergarten, and the principal, I've known the principal for a few years now, and she's like, rainy day dismissal tomorrow, and I'm like, it might be a rainy day dismissal. I hope not, but the problem is it's still that summertime pattern, right? So hot, humid, there may be a few showers and thunder showers we have to deal with. So let's do this. Let's dial up Futurecast for tomorrow morning. We're looking great, right? Here's our back to school forecast. We're looking great. 9, 10. You're still looking good. Recess is looking fine, except Brevard may have a few showers in there. But high school gets out at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, depending. There's a few showers in there, right? But notice it's not until after school activities, 5, 5:30, 6, 7 o'clock. That's when things get going and really focus out west. So for tomorrow, at the very least, for our back to school forecast, I do think that for the most part, we're looking at a pretty okay dismissal. Goodness gracious. I hope for a pretty good dismissal. I hope for a really good day for you and your children. If you've got the first day jitters, just know your teachers are just as nervous as you are, right? Everybody's doing it for the first time tomorrow, and it's going to be a great day. I'll be with you. We'll have coffee talk at 8 o'clock, and I'll be with you starting at 4:30 on WESH 2, right? Amy says, please remind people to stop for buses. A, if I actually have to remind them, there's a problem. But B, guys, there's going to be buses around, so pay attention even closer. Don't drive like a knucklehead. All right. So today, stormy pattern. 70% coverage of rain. That rain coverage comes down a little bit into late week as we start watching those temperatures climbing. I was telling people in Pennsylvania that school starts this week in Florida, and they were shocked that it's so early in August. I know it. Are these just sea breeze storms or more scattered to numerous coverage? Today is going to be more scattered to numerous. I would say that it's all associated with the sea breeze, but yeah. All right. All right, it's time for me to go grab the airplane, taxi it to the other side of the field. Showers and thunder showers, plenty. Bruce says, why was this early? I've got oil change for the airplane, so I've got to go do the things. Yeah. All right. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you starting dark and early at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow. WESH 2 News Sunrise will be with you for that back to school, back to work, back to that routine forecast. And of course, Coffee Talk at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be on time. Okay? No oil change in the airplane tomorrow. All right. Good. Take care, you guys and gals. I'll see you tomorrow.